Greetings everyone. We'll be talk about the conspiracy of 9/11, an episode that changed the landscape of the world and the United States.
Okay. Good evening, everybody.
Good
I
evening.
have some
Good
I
evening.
have some questions for you people. So we are going to start, okay? Number one
Great.
question. Could the US Air Force have prevent the attacks? Carlos?
Okay, your question is very important and interesting, because the 11th task could have been albeit if the United States National Security Agency had not ignored the um, surveillance system of the Vice 1 of this former analyst, William Binney. It is the thesis of the documentary A Good American by Frenchy Moser. The United States government had priori knowledge of the task and delivered the nothing to prevent them. This group of theories therefore admit the existence of Islamic kidnappers and does not question the cause of the collapse of the Twin Towers, but accusing the government of deliberate and allowing the terrorists to carry out the task. He has received the name of "Let It Happen on Purpose".
Thank you very much, Carlitos.
Fine.
Jasmine, could the US Air Force have prevent the attacks?
The U.S. air defense is arguably the most organized and effective in the world, and it's hardly believable that those hijackers could run on their step for just a long time, in some cases, even traveling hundreds of miles in one direction before turning around and eventually hiring their target. The U.S. air defense knew where they were, but they could get to them. The real reason for not being able to get to them is that on September 11th, many military exercises had been scheduled, while only for jets remained on alert to the entire north and south sector of the United States. In fact, the number of warnings had been so high and insists that it would have been wise to double or triple the fighter jets available across the country, and certainly not to reduce to them to near zero. Once you look
Okay.
at, at all this warning collectively, it becomes very clear that the shooting of so many drills of the same day had to be intentional, and it's very difficult to imagine any other purpose than to allow the hijackings to cease.
Okay. Very interesting. Thank you very much, Jasmine. Now I have the same question for Lady. Lady, could the U.S. Air Force have prevented the attacks?
Not because it used a surprise attack.
Okay, very short answer. Thank you very much. Now I have the second question, everybody. Were the twin towers deliberately demolished by explosives, Carlos?
Great question. Very interesting. Because there are many conspiracy theories that attribute the planning and execution of the task. Thereby, there was advanced knowledge of the attacks between high-level leaders and government officials. There wanna may believe that Bin Laden confessed to the author of the September 11 um, 2001 attack on the Twin Towers of the New York. Conspiracy United States Intelligence Service and Europeans knew very well that the distractor attacks was planned and executed by the CIA and Mossad in order to accuse Arab countries of terrorism and to attack Iraq and Afghanistan. On July 24, the commissioners of the Franklin Square five fingers at the Muson district near Queens in New York. Unanimously adopted a resolution calling for a new investigation into all aspects of the September 11 and series of the overwhelming evidence of the presence of explosives in the three towers before September 11.
Okay, thank you very much, Carlos. Nice answer. Now I have the same question for Jasmine. Jasmine, were the twin towers deliberately demolished by explosives?
The first thing one should know is that the Twin Towers that were not all those wonderful jewels they told us. These were obsolete buildings, extremely expensive and in urgent need of repair. They were so full of asbestos from top to bottom that they had become a great responsibility for the owners at the time. That is why a solution to this penalty was found by transferring the property to a private investor, Larry Silverstein, who immediately hired three that's 2 billion insurance against the destruction of the towers by a terrorist attack. Curiously, 6 weeks later, the terrorist attacks occurred. The debate about the collapse of the Twin Towers has been long and complicated and somewhat confusing, but in 2006 things began to clear up when an organization called Architects and Engineers for the Truth of 9/11 began to investigate the facts. This organization has demonstrated with a scientific arguments from rock solid that the twin towers didn't fall into a gravitational collapse and that they could only have been destroyed by the demolition and fire control. First, there are many testimonies from reporters and bystanders of explosions heard just before and during the collapse. In fact, there are more than 100 testimonials that prove it. Second, the heat developed by the fires from the impact of the plane would not have been enough to even cause the initial collapse, much less to cause the complete destruction of the two buildings from top to bottom.
Okay, very interesting, Jamin. So you are telling that they demolished the buildings because they were obsolete, right?
Right.
All right. Okay, I got the same question for Lady. Lady, were the twin towers deliberately demolished by explosives?
Not that is an unproven theory because if that had been true, the personnel in hiding would hadn't evacuated.
All right, nice, nice, good idea, Lady.
Wait,
Okay,
wait. I wanna say,
yes.
okay. Everything is very important and interesting. Um, it was an event that marked the United States and the world, but the investigation is still ongoing. The government did not act on time and outlaw this attack against its interest and its economy to a large extent.
Okay. Yes, you are completely right, Carlos. Okay, we are going to, now I'm going to ask you about number three. Were some people forewarned about the attacks? Carlos, what do you think?
Okay. This interesting story begins in January of 2005 becomes the 44 president of the United States after fearing George Bush turning the elections. That's when his voice president Barack Obama tells him that his electoral victory has only been possible thanks to the FBI agent John Patrick and Governor Booker of the CIA prevent the attack that A1 Al Qaeda and Bin Laden had prepared, and yet, about 2 decades after those attacks, no one has been tried.
Okay. Thank you, Carlos. Jasmine, were some people forewarned about the attacks?
Some people were warned about the attacks, and this would not be possible unless some people knew that the attack would take place.
Why is that? Because I understand that some congressmen and some people in the government they knew about the attacks and they were flying, they were taking private jets flights.
Yes, because some people warned about the attacks in this place, in this in this place, Pentagon and Twin Towers, um, and not be possible unless some people knew that the attack would take place.
Okay, thank you, Jasmine. Now, lady, were some people forewarned about the attacks?
I think that because if he hadn't had one ender would not have been so many victims.
Okay, thank you, lady. Now we are going to. I'm going to ask you about the number four. Was the Pentagon really hit by an airplane, Carlos? Carlos, you there? Carlos? Okay, Carlos is still waiting for the question.
Guys,
Jasmine, are you there,
listen to
Carlos?
me.
Yeah,
Hi,
listen, Carlos.
Yes, we are listening.
hello.
Hello.
Hello, Carlos.
Hello.
Was the Pentagon really hit by an
Hi,
airplane?
hello, guys.
Carlos?
Hello.
Carlos?
Can you hear me?
Ay, no, Dios mío, por favor. Guys,
Car- Carlos?
guys, guys,
Carlos?
are you here?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, bad connection.
Okay, okay, we understand, Carlos.
Um,
I'm going to ask Jasmine.
continue.
Jasmine, was the Pentagon really hit by an airplane?
The official government version claims that the Pentagon was hit by the hijacking's American 77th flight, but there is no evidence that this was out of the case. In fact, there is ample evidence that the fence was not hit by a Boeing 757 and all. Among this evidence is the fact that a large piece of the plane cannot be found anywhere outside or inside the building, also missing in the core of the engines that are supposed to be indestructible. In addition, the windows that are supposed to be hit by the tow are still intact with wooden frame glass and everything. It is very clear that the damage inside the Pentagon could not have been created by a 757.
Okay, thank you very much, Jasmine. Lady, what do you think? Was the Pentagon really hit by an airplane?
Just because the images of the camera videos show how the planes crashed against the building's Pentagon.
Okay. Thank you very much, lady. Do we have Carlos online?
Yes, tell me.
Okay.
Or repeat
Okay,
the
you're
question,
back.
please.
Carlos, was the Pentagon really hit by an airplane?
Oh, right. Okay. So there were indications a missile could have caused the war in the Pentagon after analysis of the structure of the plane, dimension and characteristics. However, there is evidence that the American Airlines flight 77 was the their flight hijacked as part of the attacks of September 11, 2001. How was delivered crates into the Pentagon headquarters of the United States Department of Defense. The plane, which covered the Washington Dulles International Airplane Link near Washington, D.C., and the Angeles International Airport in the city of the same name, was hijacked by five um, Saudis when it was 35 minutes away. The Saudis entered the cabin of the plane, first the passengers to go to the region of M. Any horror on the one of the kidnappers took over the flight as a pilot. Him from takes kidnappers, only one passenger managed to make a call to their relatives, telling they what happened. The plane ended up crashing into the water face of the Pentagon at 9 hours, 37 minutes and 44 seconds, causing the death of 64 people on board, two pilots, four hostesses, and eight passengers, as well as 125 people in the building. Those of people there is wet. Then, within a few minutes, the news began to report on time. Um, 8:26 a.m. American Airlines Flight 11 traveling from Boston to Los Angeles hit the north tower of the World Trade Center in New York City. The 9:30 a.m. United Airlines Flight 165 traveling from just Boston to Los Angeles hit the south tower of the World Trade Center in New York City. The last 9:37 a.m. American Airlines Flight 77, which travels from Dulles, Virginia to Los Angeles. This the Pentagon boiling in Washington.
Okay, Carlos, thank you. I like your answer, Carlos. But if I have to
Yes.
ask you to answer with a yes or with a no, the question, was the Pentagon really hit by an airplane? What would you answer?
Um,
Yes or not?
I believe, yes. It's very interesting. The investigation, most profundity, most uh, characters, but the reason for me is affirmative.
Affirmative. Okay. Thank
Yes,
you very much, Carlos. Okay,
you're
number
fine.
5, guys. Could the attacks have been prevented, Jasmine?
I believe the United States has enough defense capacity to respond to attacks, but all the inconsistencies present this day, such as the lack of defense aircraft, demonstrate that it was an intentional attack.
Very good. Very good answer, Jasmine. Thank you very much. Lady, what do you think? Could the attacks have been prevented?
Yes, the attack would be avoided if the intelligence service were attentive in carrying out the war and were paying attention to entries that the enemy countries made today.
Okay. Thank you very much, lady. Okay, we are going to do number six question. Was Osama bin Laden? I'm forgetting the answer of Carlos, right? Carlos, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
tell me. Don't
Could
worry.
the attacks have been prevented?
Yes, I believe, of course, Prince of Darkness, the man who riding the planes of Bin Laden, Punished Month, an exciting dystopia based on the true story of John Patrick, an FBA agent who warned them for years about a possible attack by bin Laden and that ironies of life did in the Twin Towers. Osama bin Laden declared war on the United States from a cave in Tora Bora in February 1996. The imagine showed a man with a beard that reached this chest. He wore a red under the combat uniform. Richard Harbrook, a senior government official of President Clinton, but is way. How can a man in cuff unperform war listen the information society? Of the CIA could have allotted more resources to investigate Al Qaeda. I could have tried to infiltrate the organization by the agency. They were unable to understand the agency. They did not allocate more resources because they didn't know prisons that are true.
Okay. Thank you very much, Carlos. Now I'm going to ask you the number six question. Was Osama bin Laden really captured and killed? Jasmine?
The mission, whose code name was Operation Spear of Neptune, was carried out by units of the United States Special Naval War Developed route under the United States Special Operations Command. This operation killed Osama bin Laden. As reported by the Obama administration, the body of bin Laden was thrown into the sea after verifying by means of DNA tests that is was indeed the fugitive. Later, it would generate controversy the decision not to make public to the photograph and DNA samples that the United States claimed to have. But this leaves in doubt that it really would have happened.
Okay, thank you very much, Jasmine. Now, lady, was Osama bin Laden really captured and killed? Lady? Lady, are you there?
Open your microphone, lady.
Lady?
Hi.
Okay, lady, was Osama bin Laden really captured and killed?
Yes, seen according to the information provided by the US Air Force and the Meridian claim that because killed on Sunday, May 1st, 2011 at 11:30 p.m. in the Abbottabad building about 100 kilometers north of the capital of Pakistan.
Okay, thank you very much, lady. Carlos, was Osama bin Laden really captured and killed?
Okay, first of all, Jaili Mohammed, considered the intellectual author of the attacks. In its long profile, in addition to designing the 11S strategy, Steinbach stamped the United States attributes another series of attacks that range from that of 1993 against the World Trade Center of the 2002 explosion in value of the murder of Howrell's Daniel Pearl. Osama bin Laden is responsible for the attacks, but his crater was not captured only until May 2, 2011, when elite units of the United States Armed Forces killed Osama bin Laden, um, Geronimo, Geronimo in the course of shootings in the Abadan, Pakistan. President Barack Obama public informant of the night of May 2 that a small special operation they had escaped bin Laden. Seven, the soldier who killed bin Laden had Robert Nail. Pakistan authorities confirmed that bin Laden died in Pakistan in a clash with a United States military.
Okay, thank you very much, Carlos. Okay, I
Anytime.
got the last question for everybody. Was 9/11 caused by the American government on purpose? Jasmine?
All the inconsistencies present this day, such as the lack of defense aircraft, demonstrated that it was an intentional attack.
Okay, thank you. Lady, was 9/11 caused by the American government on purpose?
Not because they are hypotheses and theory of research that have not yet proven.
Thank you. Carlos, was 9/11 caused by the American government on purpose?
Okay. The attacks of September 11, 2001, also called 9/11, were a series of four suicide bombings committed on the morning of Tuesday of September 11, excuse me, 11, 2001 in the United States by the network Al-Qaeda that by hijacking commercial planes to be hit against various uh, targets, causing the death of uh, 16 people, including the 19 terrorists, the disappearance of 24. The United States government didn't cause choose a fit. However, there was Juliet in thoughts on Ebolit elements have gave clues to prevent the attacks. If worrying about the attacks, there was a record Osama bin Laden made in know that they would carry in a unprecedented attack against the interests of the United States for the support of Israel. In the FBI, they conclude that the task can be the make of Osama bin Laden. He said a member of the Sentencing Judiciary Commission said they had been informed by the highest level of the FBI. Bin Laden could have commissioned their task, he added. The authors had no prior information about the possibility of these attacks, which were carefully planned, he said.
Okay, thank you very much, Carlos. So now We are finishing the seven questions that we have, but I would like to add a little contribution. Okay, okay, guys.
Okay.
Many reports of important people in U.S. politics and people aware of the events on September 9, 2001 indicate that the government was aware of the attacks and that they let it happen to have an excuse to attack and take control of Afghanistan and Iraq, as well as a great excuse to tear down obsolete towers that they were costing millions in maintenance, like Jasmine said. Everything was a facade. Everything was a hoax. I don't know if you guys have something to add, maybe a little contribution to finish these seven questions.
Yes,
Oh yes. As
Yes.
you, Jasmine.
I I like this documentary very much because it is very detailed with its arguments and shouts with evidence what really happened with the 9/11.
I agree. Carlos?
Yes. This information is very important and interesting for the life, for the history, because these attacks changed the world and the economy of the United States. For example, the government didn't act on time, having reason and information to do so, but they didn't strengthen military forces and invest, investigation, excuse me, investigation.
Okay, thank you very much, Carlos. Now, lady, do you have something to add?
Repeat.
Yes, anything about the for finishing these questions? A little contribution. Do you have something to add, or you prefer to let it like that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you, lady. So I think that's it. Thank you, everybody, for participating on these questions. And Carlos, I think now you can stop recording the call. Thank you, guys.
Okay, anytime. Thank you, everyone.